Donald Trump, again, this is not a commentary on the politics at all whatsoever. It's more just a guide to the success of becoming President of the United States. Someone who's not even eligible, let alone has the faintest of ideas of how campaigning or the electoral map works. So, here's how he did it. But, obviously, his secret sauce, and that's what we'll be discussing today. The McCosburger fucking yellow stuff. His version of that. Trump. If I may quote Stephen Colbert's every single monologue. Ooh, tastes orange. Is it Fanta flavor? Anyway, I think that the reason that he is where he is, and it wasn't one of the other Republican candidates, and it was particularly him. Obviously, everybody's always going to say it was just this unbridled confidence, that he was identifying sore spots in the nation, was the only one saying it. There's all that. Again, I'm not discounting that. But why him? That's the big question, isn't it? The big Q. Short for question. And I think that one defining trait that he had above all others, and above everyone else really, on Earth, there are virtually no human beings that possess the quality that Donald Trump has to his degree. I would say that the only other ones are black pimps. That's it. He has what they refer to as the golden mouth. Peace, maybe? Can't even remember. Yeah, I'm hip. But he is able to run his mouth. Everybody says that the confidence aspect is what got him there, but that's more of the attitude that is being brought about. I think the actual mechanism that works is that he is able to just stream of conscious talk, I think forever. I think until the point, like a bunch of Korean gamers, where they kind of forget to drink and then die of dehydration. I think he is capable of doing that unless he has someone with a cue card there going, drink water now, and that's when he does that weird thing where he goes, now where was I? Oh, that's right, Kuwait. Right? Actually, now that he has been president for a lot longer, his stream of consciousness has become a little more refined and it's just not as entertaining, but I will say that, especially originally when you were watching his campaigning, I think we all went through this phase. It was incredible. Actually, the only other person that I can say this, and they're serial killers, so that tells you everything you need to know. Well, whatever the fuck he was, but Charlie Manson. Charlie Manson's really good at doing that as well. You can listen to him talk for an hour straight, and he talks nonsensically. It's his ideas. It's like he's always just reaching for these metaphors where you just go, but I get that is a metaphor, but for what? That's all you're wondering the entire time. And you can see, particularly when he's being interviewed by the ladies, you can see that a lot of them bitches be getting moist. They are really attracted to him, and I think it is because of that. It puts you in this hypnosis. When somebody is just able to just keep talking, whatever the thought is in their head, they have the confidence and the ability to just go out at you. You can keep watching that forever. Donald Trump was the perfect example of that. His original performances, I suppose, I guess that's what all campaigning stumping speeches are. It's just that they are boring because they are memorized talking points that they just want to be hitting over and over again because they're just trying to find those little narrow demographics that they're trying to hit. Donald Trump went for the entertainer's way of doing that, which is that, I suppose after a while he started just naturally forming a stump speech, but really, at the very beginning of it, it was clear that he was kind of just grasping at straws while there was the entire world's attention on him. He was just able to do that. Something which very few entertainers are able to do. Maybe Craig Ferguson. It's such a rare skill to have no filter in your head, no moment of, am I saying things that make sense? Is this stupid? None of that. And what is brilliant about that is the fact that he doesn't have that is drawing. It's hypnotic. But it's not just drawing and hypnotic. Everything else, it just becomes like a canvas, sort of a painting, right? Like, most people, unless they're art trained, aren't looking at the individual strokes. They're just looking at the end result, the big picture. That is sort of like listening to Donald Trump speak. He's encapsulating you, even though he's saying wrong words all the time. When I'm doing these videos, I'm doing exactly the same thing. If you go back and look at it, There's so many grammatically incorrect sentences, words that aren't used correctly. People are always shitting on Trump for that. That's what happens when you're not sitting there trying to filter yourself. Watching people filter themselves is boring. I think the reason that people like watching people like Donald Trump, the reason that people are allured by those African American pimps, I think that the reason that they are is because their brain is actually operating like that. And I can't remember the exact word count for this, but something along the lines of the human brain is able to process something like 500 words a minute. The average speaking range of most people is about 100 to 200 words a minute. So there is a lot of space there where your brain is kind of just getting bored. And it can kind of predict where something is going, particularly if it's scripted. That's why Donald Trump is so funny, because he's off script all the time. So his brain is making connections. And those connections are coming out in new and surprising ways. I just said it, didn't I? And then that was on purpose, wasn't it? My little secret. But it was an accident, I'm sorry. He is going through that phase through his mind, right? It's just being like, yeah, you get the hairspray, right? You remember that hairspray? His brain is just going out in that tangent. That is why his campaigning speeches way more entertaining than all Netflix. Mostly because most of Netflix stand-up shows are just like, how could Donald Trump's stupid and I'm not stupid. I'm just some dumb bitch that was in a Broadway show. Don't really have got a degree in theatre. Yeah, I'm not dumb. Anyway, but they, obviously because they're all just unoriginal, a lot of it is just very predictable. It's just like, are they going to go there with that joke? Yes, they went there. Yay, you deserve to have thousands of people seeing you. There's a lot of that. There is a predictability to it. There is also just, even if you don't, on point predict the punchline, you're usually somewhere around the area. And if you go back further than that, you can see, okay, the punchline is about to come now. So it's unsurprising. When it comes to someone like Donald Trump, who was just free associating and talking, you don't know where the funny thing is going to be. Everything that he says that is funny hits harder because there's no structure to it. And I think that is just liberating to the human brain, because he is pretty much just brain, mouth, boom. Nothing like brain, should I say this? Is this going to offend people? Nothing like that, just dun, 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 dun. That is how the human mind thinks. And so when you are around somebody like that, it is refreshing. And even with Donald Trump, who is known for being a salesman. He has that, I tell you, the fish I got was this big. That is part of his personality. You understand that. It's truthful in a way. Even if he's lying. And personally, I don't think he's lying. I think he's bullshitting. I think he's just doing that free association thing. I think a lot of the time he's not... And obviously I haven't gone into those New York Times articles just being like, he said this, but he also meant this. So I could be completely wrong on that. But I think that mostly what is happening there is just a lot of hyperbole, a lot of just pulling things out of my head. Just, there you go, there's something. I think that's really what's happening there. It's bullshitting, it's not lying. Lying there is like a deliberate intent to deceive. Bullshitting is kind of just like, close enough, There's something kind of endearing about it, definitely. I think that anybody who's just like, Donald Trump is disgusting, I hate him, they're always just seeing him through the lens of CNN. If you watch that man, it's very hard to hate him. He's a very likable man. Because like what I was saying with Bernie Sanders, look, Bernie Sanders is pretty much the exact opposite of that. He's just got, he has his ticket speech that he has not shut up about for the last 40 years. And he's right about it, and people can sense that he's right about it. And he's honest about it. He is an honest man. But I think that the fact that Trump is bullshitting, he's being honest about that. There's the demeanor of him, the way that he presents himself, you just accept that as part of the package, and that in itself is refreshing. He just comes off as a human being. That's what is happening when you have that free stream of consciousness, and that is why women are usually very attracted to men who are able to do that. They are attracted to that feature because it has a liberating effect to it. And it has a liberating effect to you yourself as well. It's about getting rid of the filters. That's why, like, you know, the classic thing of like, hey, you're white knighting. That's why women don't like white knights. There is an intent behind there that is secret, that you can't really know for a fact because they are hiding it, and you can sense that. But if you are just saying anything and everything that comes out of your mouth, it doesn't matter if it's offensive, it doesn't matter if it's stupid, any of that, people will like that more. I think that that's his secret sauce. I think his secret sauce is that he is very good at stream of consciousness talk. I think the way that you get better at it is starting with your morning notes. I really think that that helps. I think that you just write whatever comes to your brain for 3 pages. Just start doing that. Start getting into that habit. And if you get into that habit, what happens after a while is that your brain is training itself to speak like that. You'll see this a lot with a lot of journalists or writers in general. When they are speaking, the sentences that they are constructing, they might not have the same performance quality as, say, your Donald Trumps of the world. But so they're not as alluring, but because they are constantly writing, the sentences that they are saying are very eloquent, very precise, poetic. Because their brain is getting trained by doing that. I think it's sort of the same thing that happens with my mind now, because I've just done so many jokes. When I want to turn on the funny in front of a crowd, I can just do that now. It is just a skill. It is because I've sat there and written hundreds and hundreds of comedic scripts, so I go, that was supposed to joke, God. So I guess I'm just one of those shitty Netflix comedians at this point. But what I think, let's just deflect away from my my lackluster performance. Let's just focus on Trump. I think that obviously he's a man that doesn't like to write, but that same thing happens when you just realize, because I see this question a lot when it comes to starting your morning notes. They go, how do I start my morning notes? Well, that's obvious right there, that you have a bunch of filters in your mind. You are not able to free associate when you talk. It is a skill that I think that you should hone. It will serve you in life to do so, obviously. Trump. So, you just write. And anything, that's the whole thing. It comes the same thing with free association as well. It doesn't matter how stupid what you are saying is being said. That's not the point of it. The point is to kind of build a rapport with the people around you, as a level of trust, a kind of, I know who this person is because he is just letting himself come out without filters. That's the skill. And free association, for the reasons that I was talking, morning notes, for reasons in previous videos that I was talking about, have other benefits, but I think that's one of them. One of them is to try and break down those filters in your mind. Those filters that have been propped up because of school and your background that actually make you a boring person, a run-of-the-mill person, and also somebody that's just kind of, hides in the reeds their entire life. Just scummy. Little fucking vermin-y creature. Is something gonna eat me? That's always what I think of somebody who you can just tell that they're thinking about everything that's coming out of their mouth before they say it. Stop being a little shrew. I want you to be able to free associate because it is something that is linked to confidence. These things are inextricably linked. These things are inextricably linked, and is also inextricably linked to kind of that, I guess for lack of a better word, truthfulness. There's a truthfulness to it. So, anyway, that's what I think. If you haven't been starting your morning notes, you should be doing your morning notes now. 3 pages a day. First thing when you get up, well, one of the things in your morning ritual, at least, should be just writing 3 pages of whatever comes to the top of your head. All right. See you soon. Give me more questions. Thank you. Like the video.